Are we live?
We are live. We are most definitely live.
Faction battle. Faction battle. Challenge accepted.
Hang is not good.
Devora. Ermac. Round one. Fight. Round two. Fight. Finish him. Devora wins. Fatality.
Oh, dude, I'm so much
Round
pain.
one. Fight.
Fucking
Shit. Oh man, you want to hear something terrible? No. Oh, never mind, that's been a thing. Never mind, don't listen to me.
This one mocks me. Feel my sting. I can suffer you enjoy.
Round two. Fight.
I'm
wins.
feeling pretty warm. Feeling pretty
Fatality.
warm. A lot better than I was the other night.
Well,
I could just not get my groove.
well, that's alright. That's okay. You're gonna get your... You gotta warm up a little bit. You'll get where you're supposed to be.
I'm feeling pretty good now.
Scorpion.
Well, this is original.
You want to know? Oh, I was probably sounding like shit.
Ermac.
There we go. That might be why I was sounding like ass.
There we go.
It's the second time I put these fuckers on backwards, man. Oh! Oh!
This is the end of you. Round 2. Fight.
Boom! Sorry, man.
Finish him.
Yeah, no, these are good fights.
Scorpion.
For show, for show.
Faction kill.
See what else I got. I'm just warming up right now. Ugh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Xerowing Encore.
Faction battle.
For some reason, I just can't seem to get away from the nighttime broadcast, but that's okay, because that is my preferred time to be awake anyway.
It's a valid point.
So there was a topic of discussion I wanted to go on
Okay.
in a little bit.
What you got?
I don't know. I'm gonna choose some words, and then I will we'll bounce back and forth. The topic is downgrading.
Downgrading.
Downgrading, man. I've read quite a bit in the last couple days about some interesting downgrading controversy.
Okay.
And when I went to actually validate some of this stuff, it's actually quite shocking. I gotta be honest, like it really kind of blew me away. And some of the developers that are supposedly responsible for it are quite shocking as well.
Such as?
Ubisoft, which is one of the lesser ones, but also CD Projekt Red, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of talk about The Witcher 3 being downgraded from the original trailers in terms of overall graphics and whatnot, and it's interesting.
It's I don't know, man. It's sad on some level.
Yeah, I mean, I'll discuss it in a second, but no, there's a huge ordeal about it. Like the Witcher 3 by no means looks like a bad game in terms of overall visuals. Like the game looks stunning. It looks really good. The problem was, I think where they went wrong with it is back in E3 of 2013, 2014, they posted a CGI overlay to kind of act as the background for stuff that they haven't rendered in-game yet.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you remember, like, the original PlayStation was notorious for this, and Squaresoft was they were big on it. Like, what they would do is they would actually use a CGI overlay, and then, like, they'd have, like, rendered characters, like, on top of it. So, for example, if you took a PlayStation disc and you actually put it in a PlayStation Movie Viewer app, which they had back then,
yeah,
where you could plug the PlayStation disc into your CD-ROM, you could watch all the CGI movies off of a PlayStation disc by using this very specific video recorder that you could download. I know because I've done it.
Okay.
Now, if you plugged in like any Final Fantasy game, you'd see that there was a CGI background, but it just didn't make sense because you didn't see the pre-rendered characters because those characters are rendered, using the 3D accelerator in the game. Well, one of the tactics and one of the things that Squaresoft did, particularly for Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, was there was a lot of, you had pre-rendered backgrounds, but then you also had CGI backgrounds that would trigger anytime, like, kind of like an in-game cinematic would go into play.
Okay.
And they would use the actual characters to kind of act as, like, quote-unquote puppets in what would be a movable stage. Anyway, just try to envision that for a second, I guess, And I think what happened was, with The Witcher, they showed a lot of footage using, I'm not a game artist by any means, but it seems like they used a lot of footage of Geralt's model moving around on a CGI, a pre-rendered CGI background, and I think that was a big deal. I think that people saw that as, oh my god, this is actual in-game footage, and now that the game is about to come out, people are comparing, screenshots from, 2013, 2014 to what we have now. And, there's still a lot of uncertainties. Project Red came out and said publicly that there was no downgrade. However, the pictures that came out obviously point to...
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, so even the pictures that came out obviously point to, like, maybe their initial design wasn't downgraded, but sure, it definitely was
something went wrong.
Visual downgrade from what people were shown. I mean, it's obvious. You can't deny it. There's no YouTube compression quality problem or anything like that is going to be able to. You can't. There's no excuse for that. Like, you can't excuse with the visual discrepancy from what people have seen to what is currently being posted and promoted as actual gameplay. Now, again, I reiterate, the gameplay footage by no means looks bad. I've watched, several YouTube videos, some of the leaked travel footage where, people are posting, 1080p, just background videos and whatnot of the game. The game looks fucking beautiful, regardless of any kind of, trivial downgrade or not. Like, it looks really, really, really good. And some of the backgrounds that you actually see, like in the opening area, look very close to some of the backgrounds that they had posted, like in the E3 VGX game shows. So it's cool. But then you have like games like Watch Dogs, now I never played Watch Dogs, but I did some research onto that as well because there was quite a bit of controversy on that title.
Yeah.
And that one actually was being billed as, in-game graphics. This is how the game is going to launch. It's going to launch like this on all next-gen consoles. And it looked like shit. It looked like a low-end PS3, high-end PlayStation 2 quality game. And, it was kind of shocking, to say the least. I was like, because I really didn't have much of an interest in playing Watch Dogs, but when I saw what they were showing, it was pretty disturbing, man. Like, like my thoughts on it personally is, like I'm willing to, it's like Project Red has always been one of those studios where they've always put the fans first, and they've always been, they put their money where their mouth is when it comes to that, right? Like there's 16 pieces of DLC that people are getting for free that comes free with The Witcher. There's all kinds of stuff that they're giving people. Their expansion packs that they're putting out for the game are really, really cheap. In fact, if you pre-order the game right now, it's like $70, and you get 2 expansion packs that are complete with like 20, 30 hours each of actual gameplay content, each in their own right. So, when it comes to, like, DLC and whatnot, like, they're more than fair. They have a lot of principles, and, they're definitely stepping up in the sense that they're releasing their review gag order quite some time early prior to the game. Like, tomorrow and Wednesday is actually where we're going to start seeing the first reviews surface for The Witcher.
Sure.
So they're actually allowing media outlets to post reviews now a week before the game comes out, which it's pretty ballsy because, you have a lot of people, realistically, people that know that there's a chance that their game might suck. They allow, they're really strict about when they allow the gag order to come off in terms of review. Jesus Christ, dude, I can't get a fucking match tonight. They're really strict about when they want the gag order to actually come out, and
Challenge accepted.
and so that's a thing, But these guys are so confident that they can go ahead and just remove it like right away, or a week in advance, for these guys to go ahead and just start talking about the game. So that's going to be interesting. But I don't know, man. It's a scary world now, dude. Because not only do you have to worry about whether or not you're buying a complete game. Now you have to worry about if the game's even going to look like what it's being advertised as. It's like you have the DLC problem where you have developers and publishers that are, taking advantage of the fact that people are willing to spend obnoxious amounts of money in microtransactions and DLC, which, whatever. It's a business model that works, and, some people are more abusive than others, I get it. But, it's kind of alarming when you don't even know if a game is even going to look like it was advertised when you buy it, and I think that's a scary world.
Oh, it's definitely disingenuous. It's I'm a firm believer that a game can stand on its own without having the latest and greatest graphics in it. However, I also think it's unfair to advertise yourself as having that, and then the actual product itself does not.
Right.
I think if you're honest, most people will probably be like, yeah, that's okay, I'll still play the game. But the moment that you say, no, the graphics are like this, and then they're not, is the moment you lose people. Gamers are bitter. No one holds a grudge like us.
No, well, very much so. There is a lot of truth to that. And I find myself to be one of the more forgiving ones in a lot of ways. You know, I'm brutal in a lot of senses, but, you know, I'm able to overlook a lot. You know, it's one of those things where I can actually look highly on Blizzard for a second and say, you know what? I've always critiqued Blizzard for showing games too early, in a lot of senses. Like, I remember when StarCraft 2 was first shown, and I did not, I was not enthusiastic about it. I was actually quite, like,
I remember.
it took me about, like, a week to fully digest, what I was looking at, dude. Because one of the things that bothered me, more than anything, and I know you're a fan of the series, so it's whatever, but, you know, they had Dustin Browder, who originally worked on Command & Conquer 2 and a couple of these other games, and,
Sure.
you know, like, I've always looked at Command & Conquer as a subpar RTS. When it comes to the competitive nature of it, are those games fun? Sure. Are they competitive? I don't really think so. And whatever, you and I will differ on opinion on that.
Oh, alright, but I mean, like,
when,
whatever, it wasn't your cup of tea.
when they announced Dustin Browder was on the project and that was what he was involved in, I was like, oh my god, dude, this is gonna be so bad.
Katana.
And I was like completely shocked. And this is before the Activision announcement and merger. You know what I mean? So I was nervous. And then when they showed the gameplay footage, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, the siege tanks looked like, you know, they looked like vacuum cleaners, dude. Like, they looked like something I would pull out of, like, a Lego play set for, like, you know, tweens or something, dude. I don't know.
Fight.
And, I remember watching it and, like, wanting to be excited, and then I couldn't shake the fact that it just looked like total shit, bro, and it really bugged me. So, you know, now it's like we're living in this world where people will, you know, show a technical masterpiece at E3 to look good, and then, you know, when it comes down to delivering a final product, you know, it's you know, you have to wonder if it's even going to be half the quality of what you originally saw. So,
For years, I mean, like, for decades now. When Madden comes out, they inevitably release a preview that uses, like, incredibly rendered cinematic it looks absolutely nothing like the game itself. Now, it's bad. I'm expecting Crisis. No. But it's the section. Right? I know Opinion does it almost every year. They show side-by-side comparisons of what the commercial showed and what the game showed.
Fight.
yeah. Yeah, it's just,
It's like watching it on, like, watching the game that's recorded
right.
obvious difference.
Well, that's why I waited so long to really buy into a next-gen console, right? Was like, you know, you always have this problem when, like, next-gen consoles come out where, you know, you have games that are developed with older hardware in mind. So,
You don't run this problem as much with PC, which is not to say that it doesn't happen, but it's certainly not as common.
like, PC exclusive games, no, absolutely not.
Finish her.
This is new.
Scorpion.
Yeah, so, I don't know, man. Like, that was just kind of my thought on that. Like, it was bugging me for a little bit, and, you know, like, whatever. I call it as I see it, and there's a lot of truth to it. It kind of bugs me a little bit that, you know, somewhere, somehow, there was a downgrade on the game. Or I won't even go as far as to say there was a downgrade on the game. But I will say that the footage that they intended to show was not shown. Whether it be, you know, like I said, a CGI overlay or something along those lines. Whatever, you know, or, you know, they might be showing lower setting PC versions of it, or they might be saving some of it as a surprise. I really don't know. I can't say. But it is heartbreaking when it comes from a developer that, you know, has kind of prided themselves on being the white knights of the gaming industry, and, you know, it's, you know, like, I'd expect something like that from EA, I'd expect something like that from Activision on any of their titles. You know, like the whole thing with Destiny, for example, like, you know, some people love it, other people hate it, but the reality is that, you know, when people actually went to go review the game, you know, the game has more flaws than it has originality, unfortunately, you know, but there was so much hype, and they were showing all this really cool shit for the game that, you know, when it actually came out, it just didn't measure up in a lot of ways. You know, like, I played the demo today for the first time. It's the first time I picked up a Bungie game in like 8 years. And you know, part of me was like, you know, especially since I've been kind of a shooter mode lately, which is weird. Like, and it's not just because of Wolfenstein, it's because, like, I've actually legit been, you know, in a way to play, like, a good, solid shooter, and I've actually been craving playing it in front of a console, which makes me wonder if a fucking alien put a parasite in my brain in my sleep or some shit, but, maybe it's just because I'm in a rather adventurous mood lately, I don't know. In a purely non-sexual way, just want to clarify that. But, you know, but, yeah. So that's been my big concern, man. And obviously, you know, we'll find out when The Witcher launches, what's integral and what's not, when it comes to, the graphic integrity. And what I saw today, I was watching, one of the leaked, copies of the game. They were posting some, like, exploration videos, and the game absolutely looks stunning, and I'm not taking anything away from the developer as a whole. Like, you know, the game looks beautiful, it plays beautiful, the combat looks really nice, you know, the story, what little bits and pieces I got to look at from the story, it looks wonderful, and I really can't wait to play it. I did watch the intro today, it looks fantastic. So the hype is no less than it was any other time, but, you know, I guess just my big concern is that, you know, if you're gonna show a game, you know, at E3, or you're gonna show a game like 2 years in advance, like, it's not unnatural or even, you know, wrong for someone to expect, okay, this is alpha footage of a title that I'm looking to eventually invest money into. It should look better. It should look the same, if not worlds better, than the footage I'm seeing today when it launches. And I don't think that's an unrealistic expectation. You know, granted, graphics aren't everything, and I get that, but, you know, in a lot of ways, it's like, you know, it'd be like, you order a car online, you know, like, you order a fucking, I don't know, you order a Mustang GT, and you expect it to be an 8-cylinder car, and it shows up at your doorstep, and it's a 6-cylinder car, and it's missing, like, half the features that you initially thought the car was going to have. But you paid the same price for the GT that you were shown online. You know, does it take away from the fact that it's you know, it's still a nice car, and it's you know, whatever, it's still a Mustang? No, it's great. But it's not the fucking V8 that you originally signed on for. I know that might not be the best analogy, it's what I'm coming up with off the top of my head, but it's just how I feel about it. You know, it doesn't mean it's a piece of shit car. It doesn't mean that this game's going to be shitty. And, you know, Watch Dogs, despite the fact that it received, you know, a major graphical overhaul for the worse, doesn't mean that it was a bad game. It was praised heavily for its innovations. I mean, I personally never played it, and I probably will never play it. But, you know, again, just going by what was what was said and rolled out, it was just kind of meh. Anybody out there in TV land tonight want to chime in and get a King of the Hill going? We are doing XerowingTV Encore, so we thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight. It does mean a lot that you would stay up late or wake up early. Just to spend the time. No! Botch the fatality, god damn it.
Tasty.
Melina wins.
So that's my thoughts on that, man. I really legit feel like there were I don't want to say like it disappointed me because I think that's kind of the wrong word to use because again the game does still look very good. Some of the excuses that were used by the community were, well, if it wasn't for the shitty consoles, they wouldn't have such tiny parameters for which to work around to produce a game of this caliber, and they wouldn't have to go and nerf the overall presentation overall for everybody else that actually wants to play the game on a respectable platform, i.e. the PC. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like the PS4 and the Xbox One haven't really been flexed to their full potential yet in a lot of ways. I feel like even though the Xbox One on a hardware level is inferior to the PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
it still has decent hardware. I mean, these machines aren't weak by any means. Are they, running 980 GTX cards? No, but you got to remember too that and I've said this to you guys. Like, I'm still running a GTX 470 in my tower, and my computer can still handle pretty much everything I throw at it right now. Would it handle The Witcher 3? Probably not. That's probably where my computer would draw the line and tell me to go fuck myself before the power supply decides to take a dump for even thinking about running a game of that magnitude on the computer. But, right now I feel like hardware is vastly ahead of software. This is my 2 cents. I mean, there are some games that are out and about that, I still think Crysis, even to this day, has a hard time running 60 frames per second on a lot of PCs. Star Citizen will obviously push the limits of a PC's hardware.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why I'm waiting on that particular title.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That persistent universe of theirs, though, is just amazing.
No, it's going to be really cool, man. You and Suda have done a lot more research on it than I have, obviously, but...
Round 1, fight.
You will not be disappointed.
Oh my god, this person's lagging so bad. No. Not happening. Sorry, dude. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Feel free to use the chat room. It has been a light night for chat.
Round 2, fight.
You guys need to keep me awake. Got a lot of content to cover. Goodbye.
Yeah, the more I read about the Xbox One, man, the more frustrated I get about what could have been.
Wins.
You know, I'm not really mad about what they made. I'm mad about about the potential console they could have built.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting.
Came out, it had plenty of problems. It had a slew of problems, and they had the fortune of being able to fix all that. They had a year to fix a lot of it before everybody else came out, but they've had a year now. All right, so I have a theory about Microsoft. All right, because all throughout the development period that this has occurred, which is, I mean, if you think about it, the cycle started probably about, I'm sure they went right to work on the Xbox One the moment the 360 came out, but I mean, this was still architecture, and this was still on paper, right?
Yep.
But the philosophy at Microsoft took a dramatic shift very recently, and you only need to look at Windows 8 and the Xbox One to see exactly where their priorities were. Windows 8, they decided they wanted to change everything. And I'm not saying that they don't have the right to do that. It's their software. They can do whatever they want. But they are reliant, obviously, on the market to pay for their thing. And we really said, okay, we can deal with all the other changes. We love the way that the efficiency of the software is incredible. Like, I don't think anybody across the board disagrees with that part, right? The fact that you can shut down a computer faster than you've ever been able to do before. The fact that you can finally keep up with Macs in some of these like instant responses that they can do. But the one thing that everybody wanted was the stupid start bar. And it's not even like it's that complicated. It's been part of Windows since Windows 1.
Yeah.
And the community said, we want it back, we want it back, we want it back, we want it back, we want it back. Give us our start button, give us the start menu. And so after, 2 years of horrible sales, it's seriously the worst sales that Microsoft had seen in recent history, they said, okay, fine, we're going to give you the start button. And what they do with the start button, it took you back to the Metro interface that everybody was trying to escape to begin with. It literally felt like they were giving us the finger. Right?
Yep.
And again, the customer-centric philosophy that Microsoft had with the 360 was gone. Now, I understand that their vision for the 360 was this media-centric box. It wasn't as focused on games as it was on being the thing that you connected to your TV. It controlled your living room. But look at how they handled all of their early, I don't know what you would call them, challenges.
Yeah, fuck Kung Jin.
Oh no, Kung Jin. So for example, the way they handled licensing, right? Like, nobody was happy about that except for EA and Activision. Everyone and their mother was like, why are you punishing us? Why are you treating us like criminals? And requiring us... Like, you're effectively saying you can buy physical media, but you don't actually own it. You can't trade it in. Used games will not be allowed. And your Xbox has to check in the internet once every 24 hours. Well, there's a number of problems with that. I can't tell you how many people I know in Texas, where I grew up, that don't have a broadband internet connection, not because they don't want it, but because they can't get it. You know, that's a problem. So to say, oh, you can't play any games, because you happen to have the misfortune of living in an area in which there is no internet, well then, don't buy it. No, I'm sorry. That was wrong. The quote that we were given was, if you can't really find that you meet the needs of the people who cannot, that Microsoft has laid out, right? That Microsoft says if you can't meet the requirements, then don't get an Xbox One. You should probably buy a 360.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. The guy literally said, "Well, then, fuck you. Don't buy. You don't get to buy our toy. Then we don't care about you. You don't get to be a part of this. We don't want you to be a part of this." This is the same guy that, instead of talking to the community and having an open dialogue about some of the problems of communications, basically called them a bunch of no-lifes and told them to piss off. And I don't think I'm actually that far off. I mean, like, I'll have to look back and actually find the actual conversation, but I mean, he literally was incredibly rude to the entire community. And the community was like, well, then we'll just buy PlayStations. And at that point, Microsoft said, okay, we need to fix this, and they fired the guy.
Yeah, well...
Just like they did with Windows 8, right? The guy was like, no, you have to do it this way, we're not changing it. I'm putting my foot down, I don't care what anybody says, we're going to change the way that you use this product. And everybody pushed back and said, okay, fine, we just won't buy it. We'll just keep using Windows 7. We use Windows XP, for, 5 years. We don't care. More than 5 years. The fact that there are people out there who are still using Windows XP. My company still supports a bunch of thin clients that run off of embedded XP. So the market doesn't care if you stop supporting it or not. They're going to keep using it if they don't like your current product. And Windows 8 was the poorest selling product in the last, I think, 20 years. Poorest selling OS that Microsoft has kicked out. Think about that. Vista was terrible, and Vista sold better than Windows 8. So, but the head of that project was fired too. And it seems like Microsoft kind of got back to its roots. When I look at Windows 10, I say, okay, that's what it should have been to begin with. We could have done this with Windows 8 because the differences between 10 and 8 are not that drastic. There are some new features and stuff they're building in, but they literally redesigned the entire system so that we can have a start bar back.
Right.
I mean, that's ask anybody. What's up, Strange? He's using PlayStation 4. But you ask anybody, hey, what do you think about, would you maybe consider switching over to Windows 10? And the first question they ask is going to be, is the start bar back?
Yeah.
Or do you still use the same stupid tiles? They're not tiles, they're stupid tiles, or they're fucking tiles, or they're, adjective tiles. Because there's always something to further define the fact that just how much they hate it, right?
Like I said, dude, I never bothered to try it. I didn't like the way it looked to begin with, so I never invested any money into Windows 8, dude.
Well, my tablet runs Windows 8, and I gotta tell you, for when I'm running an application that I would normally use or whatever, it runs like a dream, okay? But the moment I have to interface with the actual Microsoft portion of it, the Windows portion of it, it's a nightmare. And it's because this guy was like, we've been doing this since the 80s. We need to go ahead and reinvent the way that we think about this. It should be cleaner. It should be neater. It should be whatever. He tried to be Steve Jobs without talent. Say what you will about him, but Steve Jobs had a thing about the art side of things. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Round one.
And Windows is not known for that. Nor do Windows people care about that. Windows people care about efficiency. Windows people care about, accessibility. If we wanted art, we would buy a Mac. So they fired that guy. They fired a bunch of the Xbox One people because you cannot justify those kind of sales and keep your job.
Correct.
So I remain cautiously optimistic that Microsoft will at some point get their shit together and patch it. Because, that's what they do, right? By the time that Windows 7 came out, Windows Vista was already there.
Right.
But it took that many patches to fix it. There was a new campaign where they were going around talking about, there was a commercial for those Windows,
Not happening tonight.
Good lord. I'll have to go back and look it up, but essentially they gave it a new name, and they had people messing around with Windows Vista, and they were like, oh wow, this is not that bad. Like, oh well, it's not really a new version, it's actually just Windows Vista. We just retitled it.
Yep.
Ermac wins.
So,
Oh man.
at any rate, my point is now they're in a position where they had to rehire a whole bunch of people. They restructured a lot of the way that it works over there, and I'm hoping that they learn from their mistakes. They go back to the community and they say, okay, what is going on? And the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm just looking through gamer news right now, right? I'm looking through some of the more recent events, and one of the things I'm seeing here is this article. The official Halo Esports League, Halo Championship Series, had to cancel the first online cup of the regular season over the weekend, which means that they were planning to go forward.
When was this?
This was reported on April 27th.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Faction battle.
Okay, so, 2-3 weeks ago. So over the weekend due to connectivity issues. Because they could not get the Master Chief Collection to work, because even after it came out, like almost 6 months now, over 6 months now, it's still broken. This is their flagship game. This is the thing, if you said, I'll put it to you this way, if you announced today, that Halo is going to be cross-platform and people can play it on the PlayStation right now, you would never sell another Xbox. The Halo is literally what keeps a large portion of the fan base loyal to Microsoft, because no matter what, they know that they're going to do Halo.
Yeah, no, there's literally no other perk for the
And
system.
like it or not, there is a large community of people who like to play Halo.
Yeah.
And when you take that and you don't... I get it. The Master Chief Collection was something they had to do because they originally intended to put out Halo 5 last year, and they weren't going to make the deadline. So they said, okay, we're going to hold back, and we're going to put another year of development on it, but we have to release something. So they said, okay, what if we went back, we took all the old games, we now have a larger media device to hold all this information that's large enough to hold every game we've ever made. Why don't we release that? The best of Halo, right? And we were disappointed, because I count myself amongst that group. I'm not as hardcore as others, like Hollywood. But, I bought just about every single Halo game that's come out since 2. And I spent a considerable amount of time playing it.
Faction battle.
So, yeah, I was super excited. I had a whole weekend planned with some friends that I hadn't seen in years. People I used to play Halo 2 with back in 2004. We're all going to meet up online, and we took time off. We rescheduled things. I mean, we were going to spend a weekend catching up and hanging out and playing this game. And we couldn't get connected on the first night. And while we were incredibly mad and incredibly disappointed, in my head, I said, you know what? This is really, really bad. This is really bad. They shouldn't have screwed this up. But it's a launch day. It's going to happen. There are going to be problems. And so we went and we did the exact same thing. We said, you know what? Tomorrow we'll come back. We'll meet up. And we won't get to play as long, but we'll get to play together. And we did. We showed up, and sure enough, we couldn't connect again. And so it went for 3 more nights. And so finally we just said, all right, guys, let's just hold off on this. Once it's fixed, maybe we'll try to get back together then. And it took them 2 weeks before the matchmaker system worked at all.
Yeah, no, it's...
I don't play... I mean, and granted, there are people who want to play Halo for the story, and I applaud them. I'm told it's an excellent story. I don't give a shit. I only play multiplayer. I want to play multiplayer, and I want to, you know, go and play with my friends. And I want to, you know, go and teabag and likewise get teabagged, you know, by people I've never met.
I couldn't get into either, dude. That's why, like, for Halo, for me, it was... Honestly, the first time I played a Halo game, it was... I literally... I was wowed by the graphics. I thought it was like, wow, this is awesome. Because you gotta remember, the first one was...
No, the first one was incredible.
It was a technical masterpiece in every sense of the word.
I agree with you on every level.
You know, so for me, that's what it was. It was like, oh, okay, this is a really pretty shooter. You know, whatever. So, you know, after the first one, obviously, I played through the storyline a few times. It was okay. You know, the first one was just okay.
Sure.
And, you know, then they came out with the second one, and, you know, the second one literally was just a rehash of everything we'd already seen before, so... You know, it was kind of disheartening, to say the least. And, you know, so I didn't really care for Halo 2 for that reason, because for me, it's like, rehash shit is, like, the worst for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cody, I don't mean to be harping on this. It's just, you know, it's... I'll tell you what it was, man. Cody, Texas, I was living in Texas. I was living in Waco, Texas in 2004. I lived there for 2 years. And if you've ever been to Waco, Texas, first of all, I'm sorry. But more importantly, you know, there isn't a whole lot to do. I'm told it got a little bit better after I left, but nevertheless, there wasn't a whole lot outside of Baylor-related activities, which, you know, are pretty dry. And I mean that in every sense of the term. So... I was working at a electronic retailer at the time, and we would work during the day, and we would go play Halo in the afternoon. It was the first. It was towards the end of the original Xbox's life. I never expressed any interest in purchasing or playing anything on it, but within about 3 months of Halo 2 coming out, I owned 2 Xboxes, so that I could play and my friends could play, and we could LAN. At my house or at their houses, we would trade around. So the reason this was so important to me was that, you know, I left 2 years later, and, you know, there's Facebook and there's other stuff, but, you know, we all moved on and real life happened. Some people got married, some had children, some moved out of state, some moved out of country in some cases. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
No,
Cody.
it brought
it was
the audience
the reason
to Xbox,
I went to the Xbox to begin with. I never even looked at Xbox at all until my friends basically said, we're all playing it, therefore you must play it. And as it turns out, I had a whole lot of fun and I ended up enjoying it. So 13 years later, I'm sorry in this case, I was looking forward to really playing with these guys again for the first time in, you know, a very, very, very long time, in over 10 years, you know, we were going to make a whole big deal out of it, and we couldn't because the entire experience was ruined. Well, and you know what? Up until that point, I was with you. Up until that point, I bought, I had a whole bunch of games on PlayStation. I was a huge Twisted Metal fan. I invested into, I think, my second PlayStation at that time, my second PS2 at that time. My entire gaming library was all on PS2 at that time. And, dude, I'm 32. I'm right there with you. But I stuck with Sony up until that time. I kind of stopped liking the direction that Sony was going in. They kind of felt like they were giving everybody the finger, and they were like, "Oh, we're Sony, we're better than you. We'll decide what you like." And I guess it just kind of happened at the right time that my friends kind of introduced me to Halo and say, "Hey, let's go play this." So, with the last generation, I think the 360 kicked the crap out of the PlayStation because it was that attitude, right? The whole, we'll tell you what you're gonna like. You're gonna like the things that we want because we're Sony and we know better. And Xbox was much more gamer centric. It seemed like, you know, they brought Major Nelson out there. They had all the podcasts, and they would, you know, it seemed like even if it was just a facade, they gave the appearance that they cared about what the gamers thought. And honestly,
toe to toe with Jax.
At any rate, the 360 was a much better platform, hands down, over the PlayStation 3. The 360 beat the crap out of it. And with the Xbox One, there was no doubt in my mind that they were going to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can be a little bit of a douche sometimes. Problem with Jax, man, is it's like those jabs. They're like hard to get away from, dude. You can't let them get when you gotta initiate when it comes to Jax. If he initiates and he keeps you locked down, it's really, really difficult to get away from him, even with teleports.
Let's go.
But anyway, no, I agree 100% with Tim. I'm not a company fanboy by any means.
No.
If anything, I'm a PC gamer, you know, fanatic. But, you know, for me...
the last generation, it wasn't that I liked Microsoft so much as I hated Sony. So I had a Wii, and I had, whatchamacallit? I had a Wii and I had the Xbox 360. It turns out the 360 ended up being a lot better. Leaps and bounds better than the Xbox. And I think they saw that. And I
can't
think
get a fucking leg up on this motherfucker, dude. Jesus Christ.
But I think specifically they said to themselves, all right, obviously we got our asses kicked last time. Let's go after Microsoft, you know, with a vengeance. And Microsoft, who was, I think, a little too cocky about where their position was, and it being run by people who are not gamers, you don't realize that we are a fickle lot. We will turn on you in a heartbeat the moment we think that you're trying to screw us over. I mean, it's why EA can have a hit game 1 minute and crank out a AAA title that gets six actual sales. You know, it's because they think they don't identify with the crowd, and they think they know better. And that's what Xbox did this time around, and I hate it.
So dumb.
You know,
that shit right there is why I fucking can't stand this game sometimes.
Yeah.
The fucking corner shit is just stupid. You might as well just put the fucking control down.
But I mean, we live in Seattle. I mean, we know people. I know people who work on the Xbox
team. I don't know, dude. Fable was I don't know. I thought Fable was meh, in my opinion. Like, it was... The original concept for Fable was supposed to be so much better than what it really was, in my opinion. Like, the first one was kind of cool. Like, I remember, watching a couple buddies play Fable 3, and then by the time it got to the third game, it was just kind of like, what the fuck am I watching?
I remember watching the commercials for Fable 3 and being like, oh my god, that looks epic, right? Not the actual gameplay, the cinematic commercial that they wrote, right? It had this sort of like rise of like, you know, this uprising, you know, revolution feel to all of it. And then the game was nothing close. I've never been so let down by a commercial since the Crossfire tabletop game circa 1988. Crossfire!
No, PS4's got it, dude.
Up in the Crossfire!
Oh, no, Crossfire was the shit, though, dude.
No, but, I mean, like, it was an apocalyptic battle that took place in 12 seconds.
Faction
Pretty much. No, so, here's my thing, dude.
challenge
Like,
accepted.
you know, when the N64 and the original PlayStation were kind of going toe-to-toe, you know, I sided with the PlayStation because, you know, for as cool, you know, the N64 had the better 3D rendering, there's no disputing that. But, you know, the PlayStation just had the better media capability. I mean, like, that was what it was. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of developers thought the same way. It was like when
Well, the
you know,
novelty. Well, I told you the story behind that
you
one.
had Squaresoft that walked away from Nintendo. You had Konami, which was developing pretty much not necessarily exclusively for Sony, but they were a lot of their big games came out for that. It was, you know, Symphony of the Night, which is the best Castlevania game to date. You had, you know, obviously the Final Fantasy titles at that point in time need no fucking introduction whatsoever. And
But here's the real tragedy of that situation. I know I've told the story here before. Is that originally Sony and Nintendo had partnered together to create the what later became the N64. They were supposed to create it because Nintendo was trying to get away from the cartridge system. So they went to Sony and they said, "Hey, you and Philips are the guys who invented the CD. We're Japanese, you're Japanese. Let's hook up, let's sync up, let's play together. You know, let's put together the most kick-ass system ever." And Sony was like, "Hell yes, let's do that." And they made this. I mean, it was a big announcement. I mean, it was like an all-out affair. There were no expenses spared. They made huge waves, a huge headline when they announced it, and the day after, I mean, literally the day after they said, "Oh, about that, we here at Nintendo have decided that we're not going to partner with Sony anymore." And that sucks. That sucks no matter who you are. But culturally speaking, in that culture, that is the highest insult you could pay somebody. You insulted them and their business. And so, as a result of that, the guys who were running the PlayStation department said, "I don't care if we've never put out a game book," because all the advisors were saying, "Stop it, drop the project, cut your losses, let's just go back to everything else." And the guy who was running the project said, "Hell no, fuck no. Those guys just insulted everything about us. I don't care if I drive this company into the ground. We're going to finish this project if for no other reason than to shove it in Nintendo's face." And look what they did. Look what they did. The original PlayStation was
what's up, Trilliquist? Welcome to the stream, man.
the original PlayStation was a console fueled by hatred and vengeance.
Oh fuck!
Tasty.
Flick him in the tooth.
So, at any rate, long story short, what makes me sad about that story is what could have been, right? Imagine having the brand, the titles and the licensing available to Nintendo on a platform that was as solid as the PlayStation became.
Aaron Black.
I think that was kind of like the beginning of Nintendo's shitty business decision making, dude. You know, like the Wii actually, what a lot of people don't know is the Wii was actually the most profiting console of the last generation. Now, I don't know if...
By the way, they only just now became profitable again. It was like within the last 2 or 3 weeks it was announced that they're finally profitable. But I mean, it had been forever.
Round one. Fight.
Where they just constantly been losing money. Sorry, not to cut you off. But yeah, you're right. They made a lot of terrible decisions. Anyway, where this is going is that there's a trend that is visible that you can see every single cycle, and that is the person who says, "Let's not worry about the money so much as the community. Let's take care of the community. Let's build this for the community," is the guy who wins. You get all the money because ultimately ultimately, the guy who builds the thing for the community is the console that everybody buys, and they're going to buy all their games for that console. That's why Street Fighter won't make an Xbox version of it, right? That's why all these big titles are leaving Xbox, you know, in droves. It's because they know people aren't buying the Xboxes. It's their lowest selling console since the original Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. And like I said, for me, I was hesitant on buying a PlayStation 4 because I hated the PS3 so much.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, it just rocked, dude. I mean, it was, everything about it was ill. You know?
You know when I realized it was actually that they were going to do it right this time, or that there was a chance they were going to do it right this time? So right after Microsoft made the announcement that you were going to have, like, you could buy physical copies of the game, but you didn't really own it. That they owned it, that you couldn't trade it, or you couldn't give it to a friend, or you couldn't let somebody borrow it. They could play it once for a period of 4 hours, and then that was it. You know, then I mean, immediately afterwards, and when I say immediately, I mean like within 3 days, Sony was at a convention, because this all went down at E3. And so Sony, day 1 was Xbox, day 2 was somebody else, I think it was Nintendo, day 3 was Sony. And Sony went up with a video to open their thing, and they said how to share games.
Fucking stupid night, dude. I'm having a fucking shit night tonight.
But they showed a video on stage that said how to share games on the PlayStation 4. Step 1, get your game. Step 2, hand it to a friend. They literally had one guy standing next to another guy, passing one game to the other. Step 3, that's it. And it was just the biggest fuck you to everybody they could have done, and it was hilarious. It was a 12-second commercial that they filmed, and the community went, I think we found our winner. I think we found exactly what we're looking for. So, you know, to all the game developers and all the platform developers that are watching this stream, all of you, because I'm sure there's so many of them, listen to your community and then reap the profits. Oh, and if anybody out there works for EA, go fuck yourself. Preferably with something...
Now we're gonna get swatted because of fucking...
Preferably
EA,
something
exactly.
bulbous but pointy. Like a pineapple. That would be my recommendation. Alright, so enough of my rants. I apologize for that, guys. I was on a thing. I was on a tear. How about some good news? Today in history, okay? 10 years ago on this day, you know what happened, Mal?
Nope.
We were introduced to one of our favorite internet heroes we've ever encountered in the Blizzard universe.
Who the fuck is that?
A young paladin by the name of Leroy Jenkins.
Was it 10 years today?
10 years today, that video was uploaded onto the internet. And his legend lives on as a physical trading card game, their version of Magic, their physical version of Magic. He exists as a card in Hearthstone. He is a playable, not playable, but he is a whatchamacallit, a follower that you can get in for your garrison now in Warlords of Draenor.
People still play Warlords of Draenor.
For all 6 people who still play Warlords. And then he was a question on Jeopardy. So, I mean, this is a guy who had firmly entrenched himself into pop culture. He went on to host a
I didn't know he was a question on Jeopardy. That's news to me.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
Yep. The guy who voiced it hosted a bunch of the tournaments at EA and BlizzCon that year. He's going on to become.
Whoa, that was. I don't know how I feel about that. I connected with that uppercut, and his fucking throw went through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably would have killed me anyway, but that was clearly a discrepancy.
Round 2.
Anyway, so that happened today. But Drew, I have some really good news for you.
What's that?
And I don't know if you've heard anything about this or not, But I'm gonna butcher this name. Your buddy Koji, Igarashi, the creator of and founder of Castlevania.
Yeah, he's making a new game.
He has a new game. He got funded on Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's 500. He got $500,000 on the first day, and he's trying to get up to. I forget what it is, but it's I think it's like 700 or 800,000. The game's not coming out until like 2017, so the guy's taking his time to work on it.
Yeah, he's almost got $1 million. He's got over $1 million. It's $1,179,251 with 31 days left to go, and that ticker's only going up. What's up, Big Smoky Koosh?
What's up, man? Welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out late with us. We are doing a XerowingTV Encore. We had some Destiny earlier. We're going to be doing... I don't know
what we're destined to play that game, though, but we tried.
Yeah, we're probably going to be doing some Mortal Kombat for the rest of the week while we prep for our Witcher 3 launch party. It's going to be absolutely epic. Probably about within 5 days, I look to put about 50 hours worth of overall stream time.
And that's just the first day.
On the,
Don't ask how he does it. He'll defy time to do it.
No, it's over 4.5 days, but...
Listen,
yeah.
they're witches, alright? They can defy time. But here's the most important thing, alright?
I'm at 138 right now.
You mind using Jason this time around?
Yeah, good shit, dude. What happened now?
Would you mind using Jason?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll use him. I'm terrible with him, by the way, but I will
Come on,
definitely
Big
use
Smoke.
him.
Yeah, I got your back on this one. Hey, Mal!
Yo.
Hard Nut 2002 is now following you on Twitch. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, thanks, man. Welcome to the Zerowing family. For those of you who haven't followed, you should definitely do that, because we have a lot of killer content coming your way in the coming weeks, or the coming week, actually, since tomorrow will mark the...
Round 1.
7-day mark for Witcher, man. Can't wait. It's gonna be totally fucking balls to the wall crazy.
Hey, Mal!
Yo.
Cody Texas is now following you on Twitch. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you, Mr. Texas.
Mr. Texas. Cody, just friends.
Oh, I'm so fucking dead.
It's all about the love, Big Smokey. That's what we do here. I mean, yes, he is slaughtering people with the machete, but beside that part, it's all about the love.
I might be able to pull his face. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens here. I'm pretty evenly matched with this gentleman I'm playing right now, so... See, I'm so polite. Even when people beat the shit out of me, I call them gentlemen. Now, that Aaron Black play, dude, honestly... I played that first round with you with Aaron Black. I was impressed, man. There you go, man. Jason and the fatality.
Jason, win.
I mean, I don't want to sound too gross, but I kind of want a steak. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it makes me want steak too for brisket.
Yeah. Oh, it's like slow smoked.
Some ribs,
yeah.
burnt ends.
Yeah, like a dry rub.
I'll do. I'll try some Ferritor because I'm fucking. That's sadomasochist.
Ferritor.
Ferritor. Taquito.
No, but yeah, what it really boils down to, man, at the end of the day is I
Cut
kind of
that
go
trick,
with
he says. Kush, you and me are on the same page, brother.
what's up?
He said, cut that
Chance to
trick.
fight the idiot twins.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you missed that.
Round 2. Fight.
I'd like to see like a really good Ferritor one day. I have yet to see like a decent one. Like I'm like really hit or miss with him. Like occasionally I can pull off like an okay win, but
Miracle wins. Fatality.
I do have to tweak some settings on my PlayStation though, because I thought I had adjusted the brightness issue on the stream, and it's still pretty dark.
Hey, so are you thinking about checking out all the new stuff that's going to be coming out on whatchamacallit? Here's the Storm tomorrow.
Are they dropping a bunch of new stuff on here?
Well, it's dropping KT tomorrow.
No way! They're really dropping Kael'thas now?
That's what it looks like. Well, because if somebody data mined some information, right? It looks like KT is coming out tomorrow, and then in 2 weeks we get the other one, the Crusader from Diablo.
No, they're putting the Crusader in the game?
Oh, you didn't see that part?
No, I didn't.
Oh
see the
yeah, no,
Crusader.
they showed in the Battle.net has a video that shows her, like on the client. She looks bad A too, man.
No, she's what? She's probably definitely a tank.
Absolutely. She has like a giant tower shield in one hand and a flail in the other.
No, that's cool, dude. No, I'll definitely look that up, man. I thought I'd seen KT. I didn't see the Crusader. That's cool.
And I forget her name. Hold on a second. Let me look this up real quick. Johanna. Dude, they have this Centurion skin for her, where like it's like a Roman Centurion skin. It looks incredible. Sonya's got a new skin that comes out. It makes her look like something from the 80s. Gazlo's got an alien theme skin coming out.
An alien theme?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like something. It straight up looks like something from Mars Attacks. His turrets are little
Thank
flying.
you, Fish.
The little flying saucers.
Oh! Damn!
Round 2. Fight.
And Stitches has a Day at the Beach themed skin that he's getting, complete with an inner tube.
You know what I like most about playing with you?
What's that?
You don't lag.
Yeah.
that's Your wireless. I was doing wireless, and I noticed. I just got my PlayStation like not too long ago, so I noticed like wireless is like it works good some nights, and then there's stability issues others. I'm about 10 feet away from mine, but I live in Seattle, so we get like 100 megabits a second here. It's ill.
This is the end of you. Final round. Fight.
Oh, nice, dude. Cool. You know what sucks about that spear, though, man, is it's damage reduction. It's like a dice roll when it comes to that, dude. It's, I honestly think, like, the game rolls like internal dice when both people use their X-rays at the same time. Good game, man.
Scorpion wins. Faction kill.
Like I said, guys, if you have not done so already, please follow XerowingTV. And mark your calendars for May 18th, man, 4 p.m. Pacific time. We are going to be doing a lot of really cool shit for The Witcher 3. I might be doing potentially some old content streaming or some catch-up on story stuff. We haven't really talked about too many logistics yet, but there's definitely going to be some really cool stuff that we do. Also, we're doing follower polls for some of the critical story decisions as I play the game, so you'll actually be able to vote on some of the decisions I make Geralt do throughout the journey, so that'll be fun. It's just going to be a good time. So if you're not busy playing the game, or you feel you need some kind of justification or affirmation as to why you should purchase the game,
Or maybe you just want to hang out with us.
yeah, that too. Or hang out while you're playing in the game, and we can compare notes.
It's gonna be quite an event. I get to put my hand roasted coffee to the test, as I see just how long I can keep you awake without killing you.
Oh no, I have no doubt in my mind that your beans will kill me, but that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna go, what a way to go! I'm proud of my coffee, man. That's good.
Oh, you should be proud of your coffee. Your coffee's pretty alright, man.
Round 2. Fight.
I love the venomous variation, man. I just need to figure out a way to viably use the bug blaster, because this seems like it's kind of a critical thing, but I just can't really find any good strings that make it safe. Then again, I guess Devora's not really a safe character in general, so... Oh, it sucks. Oh, man. That, right there, what just happened, that's the kind of shit my chiropractor does to me. No joke.
Devora wins. Fatality.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, man, over time, as time progresses, I'm definitely getting more of a love for Devora. She's just, I don't know. Originally pro Melina, and I still play Melina, but man, oh, you're going back to EB? Okay, dude, your Aaron Black's on point, dude. No, your Aaron Black's on point, bro. Yeah, I know how that goes, man. Like, their characters, like for example, if I was, like, good at playing Ferritor, or if I thought for a second I actually could you know, play to a decent level with Ferritor, I'd never play any other character but Ferritor. My problem is that, like, I don't know, I just can't really perform very well with him, or them, or whatever. Jesus, dude. What variation are you using? Outlaw? Nice. Dude, it's so good, bro.
Round 2. Fight.
But anyway, Cody, Texas, going back to kind of what we were talking about before Tib went on a huge rant. For me personally, man, I go where the games are, I go where the quality is, and, you know, each company has some lackadaisical performance when it comes to some of the overall console execution.
Aaron Black wins.
I haven't seen that one before. That's cool.
Faction.
Good game, man. But you know, for me, I didn't think I'd like the PS4 because I really didn't like the PlayStation 3. I honestly thought, like, I tried to find a reason to like the PS3 and I ended up selling it. I just thought, like, it was just, I don't know, it wasn't for me. So, you know, I looked at the PlayStation 4 and, you know, I was deciding between the two, and I don't know, man. I don't regret a damn thing. The PlayStation 4 is amazing. I think it's, in my opinion, probably the best console I've gamed on since the Sega Dreamcast. And that says a lot, because I really loved the Dreamcast. I thought it died way too young, but unfortunately Sega made too many mistakes leading up to it, so... That's my 2 cents on that. As far as Microsoft goes, you know, Halo is, you know, Halo's, you know, I'm not going to take anything away from what the game's achieved. You know, I have my own opinions on the game, simply just because, again, it just rehashes too much. I think Bungie's a one-trick pony. I think they got really lucky with the first Halo game, and, you know, that luck and initial success kind of carried them.
I don't know if that's fair, though, man, because, I mean, they had success before Halo. I mean, I don't know if you remember Marathon. Marathon had a huge following prior to...
No, dude, they're it's literally, I don't know, man. I think they're a one-trick pony. I think that they're an incredibly overrated developer. And, like, when they tried doing that Halo real-time strategy game, like Halo Wars or whatever, it was horrible.
But that got outsourced to somebody else. That wasn't Bungie that
It was outsourced?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but
yeah,
even so.
So, here's what happened, right? Bungie is a studio. Exclusively with Mac. Early 2000s. Maybe it was like 99. Microsoft bought them out, and they said, we're getting ready to do this. To enter the console market, we have some great ideas. This is what we can do. We want you guys to be we want to show the world that we're serious, and we want you guys to be the way that we do that. We want you to be our wins. And so we should create a game for us that's going to say,
yeah,
alright, Microsoft can actually do this. And they did. I mean, again, whether you believe the game was good or not, you can't deny the incredible success that the original Halo had.
No, I'm not denying the success of it. But then what was it up against? Like, let's talk about that for a second. What did Halo, when the original Halo came out, what was it really competing against? Fucking Luigi's Haunted Mansion, Pikmin, okay, and then fucking, what did the PlayStation 2 had shit at that point. I think it was like Final Fantasy X was just getting ready to come out. Holy fuck, dude, you might flawless me.
Hey, but you can't say
Damn.
You can say that, but I mean...
Nice job.
That only shows that Microsoft said, all right, let's do something different. Let's do something that's going to knock everyone's socks off. And they did. Maybe not your socks.
No, they knocked everybody's socks off the first time, dude. You know, that was my problem with it, is that, you know, for me, I look at Halo
I disagree.
is the symbol for...
I say the second one was the... I think the second one where they said, okay, number one is already created, number two is already created. And then after that, they got stuck. After that's where they got the loop of like, fuck, what do we do now? We better create, this or that. We're gonna make
Nice, dude.
We're gonna have to make some extra items. We're gonna have to create some new weapons. Some new maps.
With what? Halo 3?
Yeah, I'm saying 3 is when things kind of became...
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, when Halo 3 dropped and it looked the exact same as the first two with, like, maybe ever so slightly tweaked shaders and graphics.
2's big deal. The thing about 2 is that 2 improved immensely on the multiplayer aspect of it. And I think that's when Microsoft went, holy crap, there's so much money that we can make off of this right now. Because they were getting all their money off of Xbox Live. And they realized that the people who were paying for Xbox Live didn't give a crap about anything but playing Halo.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. All I know is that Halo 3 was the exact same as Halo 2 and Halo 1. From a multiplayer perspective, apparently, again, I'm going by our Halo expert, and his words were that Bungie started to mismanage it, and then once Microsoft took over, that's actually when the game started getting better again from a multiplayer perspective. Apparently, that was short-lived, because apparently now everything is gone down the drain again in regards to the multiplayer experience, and that's based on what you're telling me. I mean, I don't care enough about Halo to follow up on these types of things, so, you know, I just kind of, whenever I hear the casual hearsay, you know, of course I validate before I try and speak too publicly about it. I don't know, man. And then there was like, you know, the PlayStation exclusives now too are like just amazing.
Delicious.
Round 2.
Yeah, from a multiplayer perspective, I don't know. You know, you could argue that Titanfall was a good exclusive. I never played it, but it just, to me, it looked like Call of Duty with mechs. That's gonna taste wrong, even for Melina.
Melina wins. Fatality.
It's mostly team spirit, man.
Right. Alright, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple more matchups here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight. Thank you for those who followed us. Again, if you have not followed us, please do. You won't regret it. I pretty much have no life right now aside from work and streaming, so... and I'm not the only streamer. We have tons of content for those who are looking for any other type of content. We have, you know, our Halo team with Hollywood Zero, who is pretty fucking good. We have Heroes of the Storm. We do, like again, we do any of the major PlayStation and Xbox launches. Just about anything you could think of, really. We do pretty extensive coverage on, so
Round 2.
go ahead and follow us up, and if you want to see us play something or stream something, by all means make a request and we will take it into consideration. Oh, damn. For all intents and purposes, she should be dead, but we'll just... Yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it up. Hey man, thank you so much for the games. You know, if you want to go ahead and friend me on PSN, we could do some more. And if you want to take part in the stream, that'd be cool too, man. I got you know, right now I got 137 people watching. It's twitch.tv/XerowingTV, 0 with an X, so XERO Wing TV. And, yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure, brother. Yeah, add me up, and, you know, we'll play some more, and we'll do, some live commentary. I do King of the Hills on my stream, too, with my viewers, so, that's always a lot of fun. And I'll probably be doing this actually for the next week, but this coming Tuesday when Witcher drops, man, that's going to be May 18th. I'm probably going to die in front of my TV because I won't be sleeping, eating, drinking. I'll just be playing The Witcher. I'll need a real life intervention from video games, which will be pretty awful. But anyway, man, have a good night. And to all you guys out there, again, thank you for tuning in to Zeroing After Dark.
Thank you.
Please, once again, follow us for our Witcher party and for all the other content that we're going to have. This is Mal Zero.
And Tip Zero.
Reporting. We are out. Peace. Have a great night. Thank you.